Edwards, Billy. We got what 4 or 5 guys that can go out and get you 20.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
A good
And
thing that's a good thing to have.
they all have at different points in times for sure. So that makes them a whole lot of trouble for opponents to guard or key in on somebody. Got our guest in the back room in the BS3 green room. So before we do that, let's talk about our partnership with the Autograph app, because y'all been listening for the past few episodes. Y'all know the Autograph app, co-founded by Tom Brady. You just do what you already do. You get points, you earn rewards for fandom stuff, like listening to this podcast. Our podcast is on the Autograph app. Every time we put out an episode, it shows up on the app, as well as all sorts of other Kentucky content, articles, podcasts. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to all your favorite Kentucky content in one place and offers rewards like tickets, exclusive merchandise, and more. You're already listening to our show, which we appreciate, but now you can earn points and get rewarded for it. So head over to the Apple App Store and search for Autograph Fandom Rewarded and download it for free today using referral code CATSTALK, CATSTALK. The link and the code are also in our podcast description. Also, it's now available for Android. We have some people on Facebook asking if it's available for Android. It definitely is. So get in there, download it, use our promo code, and do the stuff you already do. And then you can see yourself on the leaderboard. You get points for every article you read, every podcast you listen to in the app. Get a chance to win tickets and swag and all kind of stuff. Our guest is in the BS3 Network green room. These guys cover high school sports. Like we talked about the girls' state tournament last week. The boys' state tournament popped off today. Coach Truck and Coach Buford. Coach Truck is in the back right now. Big Things Kentucky on YouTube. They get the Facebook page. Follow them on Twitter at KY Big Things. Coach Truck, man, it's been a while since we had you on here. How you doing? What's up? Oh, was you frozen? Are you there, Coach?
Man, it's my connection.
I
Can you hear me? It's my connection.
Yeah, you're like your face is froze up.
Right now, I'm live.
You're up right now. Uh-oh. Ain't got a good connection right now.
Well, you know that rough Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, I hear some crowd noise, Coach. But it's got you a little laggy on us right now, man.
My connection bad. I tried to come on live from the Sweet 16. I'm at the Sweet 16, so I know y'all probably can't hear me.
There you go.
I'm on Rupp's Wi-Fi, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on Rupp's Wi-Fi at the Sweet 16. Right now, we got a Adair County taking on Marshall County. Adair's up 43-34 with 1:03 left in the third.
Okay.
We got Great Crossings in Great Crossings in McGoffin County next, I believe.
McGoffin County played.
What's up, man. I just figured I'd pop on. I'm sorry. Great Crossings
County played this morning. Yeah. McGoffin County won earlier.
They got
today.
Spencer County.
Hey,
my bad. I'm already thinking about Thursday.
I hear you. Hey, since it's
Friday.
Since it's a little spotty, I'm just gonna ask you: are you gonna be there tomorrow? Be there in the morning.
I'm gonna be here all week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be in the morning.
Where you at? I'm coming tomorrow because my BlackBerry's in there, so I'm gonna have to come find you for while I'm there tomorrow, man.
Oh yeah, I usually be up at the top, sitting in the press section over man, I don't even know the section. But yeah, I'll be at the press, man. Just shoot me a text and I'll find you, man. I'll be all over the place.
All right. I don't know if you got my number. I'll DM you my number or send you a message or something. Yeah. But I'm gonna try to get there about 10 in the morning because get there about an hour early and find you. I'm gonna try to find J.R. Van Hoos and just holler at some people right quick for sure, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be here. We appreciate you gonna grace our presence, man. Speaking, before we get out of here, man. We ain't signed nobody or nothing, man. What we gonna do?
Man, I was at Terry. I tell you, I was fussing about that last week. Everybody making moves and free agent stuff, and the Cowboys sitting on what they got, which ain't enough. I was not pleased. Terry, I tell you, I was fussing.
I think it's great.
Is background noise real bad? I got a mic and stuff. I'm trying this something new.
Yeah, I hear
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll try.
I thought you might be there, but even when I asked you about coming on, okay, yeah, but I still appreciate you taking the time to do it, man, because you multitasking right now. You
Man,
covering the
I do what I
game
can.
and make an appearance on our podcast. We appreciate it, Coach.
Viewers, yes, I sent it out as soon as I got it. So yeah, I tell you what, man, it ain't nobody. If you want to do something in Adair County, you better go get there now. Because everybody in Adair County is here right now, sitting over there. The whole county is over.
Hey, Coach, we'll get you back on after the tournament's over, another week or two or something, and top it up proper, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all thinking about me, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and I got one thing, man. Our Final Cats going, man. What we gonna do?
CB got Final Four. I'm staying Elite Eight probably, but
okay.
Realistically, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong and go further. I'm saying Elite Eight right now, but
hey, I got a tight UK jersey. I'm ready to bust out, dog. We got to get this one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all though, man. Thank y'all. I tried to do something. I know my connection's bad, but thank y'all, man.
We've been at Rupp before. I know how it works.
All right. And I'll definitely be looking for you tomorrow, man.
All right. I'll be there, man.
Y'all take care. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we see you, Coach Truck, part of Big Things Kentucky at the YouTube channel. Been on here several times. They had us on their podcast. They do a lot with high school players and coaches, and, cover it a lot more detail than we do, especially in, Central Kentucky. They get a lot of exposure to kids that might not get exposure. So they're doing, as the name says, big things. So y'all definitely check them out if you haven't done so. They've been doing it a long time too, TB.
Yeah, man. I love my Facebook memories. I pop up different things. I'm like, man, we've been doing this for a while. We've been hustling for a long time on this, man. That's crazy.
It is, and it's cool that we get new guests. We've been around so long, we kind of got a little guest Rolodex where we can just, we ain't had this in a person in a while. Let's get them back on, see if they can come on. And then that's where we get the multiple people with multiple appearances and, Craig Bates, Kentucky Big Things, Answer Rulos,
Man, Craig Bates sent me something. He keeps tempting me like I got unlimited money, man. He sent me a warm-up from the Kentucky Colonels from the 1967 season.
Yes, and he thought I had some money too because he said I just sent it to TV.
And so I was like, "Is it green and white?" And then I looked it up. Oh yeah, the colors were green and white until like 71.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" I was like, "Man." Like when we had him on that time, I was like, I don't know why you think I got this endless stream of money. I got this house and stuff, man. I can't. Look, this is no throwback. I've had this since the 06 season. Like all the jersey stuff, like, woo, I ain't got it like that. But no, he's a good dude with good stuff. But yeah, we got some good guests. Friend of the show, Dickie V's got the Cats winning it.
Mm-hmm. Sure it is.
People are like, oh, don't pick us. That's the kiss of death. But then y'all get mad if nobody picks us. Y'all don't think Kentucky gonna do something? You got to pick a struggle, man.
Unpleasable.
It doesn't matter who picks, who doesn't pick, man. You got to just go out and play. We're finally at that point where the 1 seeds, you have to come play. It used to be if you were a top 3 seed, that first game used to just be a bye.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're just gonna get some cardio in, walk-ons.
Sure was.
Walk-ons get a little bit of run. You got to come ready to play from the jump. It's changed, because that 5 and 12 early on after expansion, you're getting at least one of those 5 and 12s. It used to be some really, really good team from the MVC going against like the A team from the SEC, and that team was just better. Like, it's just better. And then we started seeing a bunch of, the 3-14 games. Kentucky got tripped up in 94 like that. And then 2-15, that stopped being regular. And even the 1-16, you really haven't been able to pull your guys out.
Right.
Those games. We haven't seen it in 40. I mean, you remember back in the 90s, the 93 Kentucky, like they won the first 2 games by like 80 points combined. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
you got to come ready from the jump. So if you're not taking people serious, that's on you.
Yeah, and so, like you said, open talking. I hope, I hope everybody has seen it. And it started with the coach, and he didn't pop off like West Virginia did against we gonna send Caitlin Clark-Packin, but he said they're confident. He said of all the 3 seeds, Kentucky was the best matchup. We don't want Iowa State. We don't want Houston. Kentucky's the best matchup. They don't score in the post, which clearly he saw the game. Which game was it where all the scoring did come from the perimeter? I was trying to look at the box scores, but none of our big scored. There was a game, so he's not lying. We did have a game where none of our big scored at all.
Was it Tennessee?
In Knoxville, was that when it might have been? Yeah,
I think it was at Tennessee. Like none of the big scored.
So the coaches, they watched the last 3 or 4 games, so he watched that one, and that's right. They scored 87 points or 80, whatever it was, with just guards. So so he can say with they don't score in the post, and we're a good matchup. We run our sets, and so he's just confidently talking and.
Good for them. I mean, once UMBC took care of Virginia 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2018. Woo.
Yeah.
Once that happened, the floodgates opened. Then FDU last year against Purdue.
And
now, like I said, you got to be ready to play, man. So look, everybody can talk, everybody can do whatever they want to do, but I'm very confident in these cats. I still am. I don't think I'm a sunshine pumper, but like I said, we have seen them do things.
That's true. Now, you being in Iowa, how are the Iowa people? Are they bristling at the fact that people are comparing Virginia basketball to Iowa football? Isn't Iowa even embarrassed at what Virginia did, or is it really? Are they on par?
But the thing is, it's painful to watch. Like Virginia's offense, when they went like an actual hour of real time between baskets, or 50 whatever minutes it was, that's bad. And the anomaly seems to be that championship season, because they've had no wins in the last 6 or 7 tournaments outside of that.
Man,
probably shouldn't have been in this year.
No way.
And anywhere else, Tony Bennett's on the street, man. Championship or not, like what is going on? Because who are you going to get to play in that system?
Yeah, I think
it was different when he convinced some high-level players to come, some dudes that made it to the NBA. But you're playing this way and you've got no success?
Yeah.
And Virginia finished 3rd in the ACC?
I mean, 20, yeah. That's an indictment on the conference right there. Because they have, real talk, I mean, I didn't look it up. They probably got just as many non-50-point games as Kentucky has 90-point games. Because they scored some 40.
Yeah, Corey Price had some numbers on that, but they had like at least 6 games where they didn't reach 50 points.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's you want to talk about Cal's antiquated offense. I don't know what they're who signs up for that.
And Reed Sheppard had them on his list. That was Kentucky, Virginia, blah 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 blah.
I think he was just putting stuff down.
Yeah, he was. He was.
But look, man, it's just bad basketball. I just don't know how you recruit kids to play that. We're going to stay in here for 30 seconds on offense. Like, that just seems not fun.
Everybody talked about Cal changing, and, we see the offense now, and we see the personnel now, and we see all the points. And will Tony Bennett adjust? Will this force him to bring in a coach that can coach offense, or will they still be looking a hot mess like this next year? Or will they actually try to be playing basketball and not Bob Cousy cringing at what they was doing last night?
The difference is Cal's got a resume. We can talk about what offense he runs and what he does, but he can also point to 7 dudes in the NBA All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
He also can point to Cason Wallace, who was probably the best player on a not great Kentucky team, now being a contributor year 1 for Oklahoma City. That's the difference. The Shea Gilgeous-Alexander team. That team, I thought that team was a Sweet 16 team in January.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the bracket broke open, but I'm like, Sweet 16 is about as good as this team's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see what he's doing at the next level. Tony Bennett doesn't have that. So while we were fussing about Cal changing, Cal could always fall back on, I've been getting dudes to the league for generations.
Literally, yeah.
DJ Wagner's daddy there. Here we are 20 years later or whatever. Like, he's got that. Tony Bennett doesn't have it. I mean, yeah, he's got that championship, and I guess that counts more than some other places. But what's the sell between Gonzaga and Virginia? I mean, yeah, Virginia got the championship, but it just doesn't look fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen these coaches try to have this kind of lockdown. Like, that does not seem fun to play. Basketball, there should be a joy in it.
You remember when Mike Fratello was at Cleveland and he tried to do that with, I think, Terrell Brandon. I'm talking probably late 90s. Terrell Brandon was the point guard. Maybe Bob Sura, Vitaly Potapenko, Zydrunas Zagauskas. And he was out there trying to literally win NBA games like 60-57. And I think, Slam magazine was hot, and it still is, but it was really just the new thing, for us. Like, whoa, this Slam, Sports Illustrated is cool, but this Slam. And they were like, man, Terrell Brandon averages 19 points a game for Cleveland under Fratello. And they were like, that would equate to like 32 points a game on a real team. If, if he scored 19 a game for Fratello, what would he do if he was on, a legit offense? But
it's just antithetical to what we should be trying to do.
David Hibbert.
David. Hey, I got to give David a shout out. Thanks for watching, David. He refers to all the players by their number instead of their name, which reminds me of my dad. My dad didn't ever yell at the player's name, was always a number. So Michael Jordan was like, I see you 2-3. I see you 23. And David does that. So shout out, David. And plus, me and David go back and forth sharing all the other stuff Kentucky's doing, whether it's the gymnastics team heading to the SEC championships. Baseball is like 18-3. Softball's doing their thing. Like, it's all cats, everything, baby.
Absolutely. So appreciate Dave jumping in here and checking us out and leaving a comment.
Rather watch grass grow or paint dry instead of watching UV. Like, I mean, it's just bad, man. Like, it is just bad basketball.
Yeah, no other way to put it. And they validated everybody who said they didn't deserve to make it, by coming out there in a playing game and putting up 42. Could have put somebody else in there for those 40 minutes. A lot more deserving teams for a shot at being a 10 seed and getting in there. But no,
it should have been Indiana State.
Absolutely.
And I can't believe they're going to put me into a position to defend anything out of Indiana, but it should have been Indiana State. look, again, I always say it, I keep saying this. This is a television show that just so happens to crown a on the court champion.
Yeah.
That's part of it. I can't believe that UVA, their fan base, is bringing more people to the table than Indiana State.
Oh.
I would have watched that Indiana State game. I did watch a big chunk of Indiana State versus Drake.
Yeah.
For the MVC championship that Drake won back to back. I've been good luck for Kate. Drake has been to the tournament 3 out of the last 4 years.
Yeah,
which for them is very, very good. But keep in mind, the Drake Bulldogs they have participated in the men's Final Four, and the school where you are in Knoxville has not.
They would.
The 55th anniversary of that team, maybe 69, something like that. So yeah, it's big time, man.
Absolutely. Got David with a couple more comments all around school. Yeah, for Kentucky, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Look, I support everything with Kentucky across the chest. It's not just the men's hoops team, but yeah.
Yeah, and so but baseball's 18-3, softball up to a good start. Yeah, so. Absolutely.
And gymnastics has been a top 10 program all year. I think they got as high as number 3 this season. They're setting program records left and right. So it's always a good day to be a Cat. But I know what drives the bus is men's basketball. Don't get me wrong. And yes, I'm going to be ridiculous tomorrow evening about this time. I think the Cats got a shot to win. Maybe that makes me a homer or a sunshine pumper, but Cats got a shot.
For sure. We got somebody else backstage. Is this Coach Truck? Is that you, Coach? Is that you, Coach Buford? Is that Coach Buford back there? Let me see here. Let's bring him on and see. Had Coach Truck earlier. This you, Coach?
No, this is Ozone. I work with Big Things Kentucky as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, appreciate you, man. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys as well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we had Coach Truck on earlier, but he had a little audio stuff from Rupp, because it was hard to hear him with the Wi-Fi and him being at the game. But yeah. So yeah, they've been coming on our podcast for a little while now, and they had us on with them, and we appreciate all the high school coverage that they do, and y'all at the Sweet 16 right now. So man, how long you been working with them, Ozone?
For a little over a year now. We did a lot. I did a lot of the high school basketball stuff with them this year. So, and did some football stuff with them. I'm here at my community center, man. That's the reason why I was running a little late. We had an Easter egg hunt for my kids over here.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So you from Lexington? You from Kentucky? Or?
I am from Lexington. Yeah, born and raised.
Good stuff. So, man, you putting up with Coach Buford and Coach Truck on a regular basis, man.
On a regular basis, man.
and you the new guy too, right? You the new guy.
Yeah, I'm the new guy. Right.
Hey, it's all right. We understand if the kids,
got kids down here, man.
So what high school you go to in Lexington, man?
I went to Henry Clay, man.
Oh, hey, that's a big one, man. That's a big one.
And, Buford went to Bryan Station, so, you know what I'm saying, we grew up playing ball together, playing ball against each other. So it was a big-time rivalry back in the day, man.
Now, they both look like some big dudes. You like a pretty big dude, too. How did those battles go with you and Buford? Did you get the best of them?
No, in high school, man, he got the best of us, man. I hate to say it, but, you know what I'm saying, it was all good, man. We had a good time playing ball.
All right. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, I know you the new guy, right? You say you've been with them for a year. Are you going to any of the games tomorrow? You gonna be at the basketball games? Or?
I'm a head down here in the next 20 minutes or so to catch that Great Crossing game.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're in our region, so I'm gonna go down and check them out here in a few minutes.
So y'all got Central Kentucky just on lock with the coverage, basically, right? Y'all,
Pretty much, yeah.
Lexington, Winchester.
Everything hitting Lexington, man. We got Winchester, we got Versailles, Richmond, Nicholasville, Georgetown. Yeah, we got that whole surrounding little block pretty much covered.
And y'all do a lot to like give kids exposure that maybe wouldn't get exposure. Y'all have different kids on the show, different coaches on, and y'all do that quite a bit, right?
Yeah. Give me 1 second, man. Give me.
All right. We got some comments too. We got Jessica Powell on Facebook. Appreciate Jessica saying "Go Big Blue." Absolutely.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
David, Station Nation. Okay. All right.
All right.
So yeah, man. Y'all get kids a lot of exposure, a lot of good interviews, and that's never a bad thing, man.
Yeah, it's very limited down this way about giving giving kids an opportunity to enhance their interview skills, because a lot of them are going to be going to the next level. So we're just trying to give them the exposure and the experience on how to handle interviews and stuff like that in the future. So that's pretty much what we're doing, man, and just trying to get them out so more college coaches can see them that wouldn't normally see them.
That's good. That's great stuff right there.
Yeah.
You a Cats fan too? You a Kentucky fan?
I am not. Lord, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I can't do it. Hey, that's a long story, man.
All right. It's all good, man. It's all good. But I appreciate you hopping on. I'm sorry I didn't know who you were, and I was like, man, but we'll get all y'all back on again sometime too, man.
We'll do a wrap up of the Sweet 16.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely hit y'all up, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay, thank y'all.
Yes, sir, Ozan. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, so we got multiple members of big things in there. Coach Truck and Ozan popping in. And so good stuff, man. Good stuff. I got to go back to Iowa just for you because I don't know. I assume it might be a hot topic because look, the men's basketball's in the NIT. Iowa State is, a 2-seed in the tournament, so I'm sure that's not sitting well with Hawkeyes. But what is everybody saying about this Caden Proctor kid that is from Iowa, committed to Iowa, transferred to Alabama, transfers back to Iowa, gets like a NIL payment while at Iowa, bounces back to Alabama, and doesn't play it down for Iowa? I mean, is he public enemy number 1, 2, or 3 or something right there right now? What?
To be honest with you, it's kind of flying under the radar because it's the supernova that's Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
Overshadowed everything.
Uh-huh.
And, look, we're Kentucky people, and we've had teams that have kind of had that aura, but I think the one thing lacking in Kentucky basketball history, at least in our time frame, is having that dude, like that everybody's talking about. Maybe a John Wall, not just a great player, but just commands your attention. And Kentucky's kind of lacked that. We all have our internal favorites. Don't get me wrong, right? But just nationally, it's always been Kentucky, the brand, versus the individual. And so now you've got Caitlin Clark, and look, I'm not trying to get into a sociological breakdown, but she is the face of women's college basketball. Her games are drawing the best ratings for women's basketball in 30 years. Right? Like, she is a thing. Like, it is a thing, and it really kind of consumes everything here in the state. I mean, there was I watched it. There was a special kind of breaking down Caitlin Clark, talking about people she played with at like YMCA, like rec league, all the way up. And plus, if she's from here, and so that has really overshadowed a lot of other stuff going on in Iowa. Is having Caitlin Clark. I mean, when you got these luminaries from women's college basketball showing up. Lynette Woodard, right? Come to find out this, like Holly Rowe was following Iowa women around. Like, it's a thing.
Man, that's so
kind of
amazing.
sucks up all the oxygen from everything else. But from what I can see, she's handling it well. The team's handling it well. They signed some 5-star player for next year, so this thing can keep going. And that's the thing too, is Caitlin Clark's not the first really good player Iowa women have had. Years ago, they had Megan Gustafson, who's playing in the WNBA, who was, I think, at least one time Big Ten Player of the Year and All-American. So it's not that they're not used to having really, really good players, but it's just something different. Friend of the show, Adam, has been all over covering. He was in Minneapolis for the women's Big Ten championship. He gets to stay put here with Iowa women hosting the first couple of rounds. He was at the men's NIT game last night. So when the dust settles with that, I'd love to get Adam on, because he's been covering it. He has asked Caitlin and Coach Lisa Bluter questions at that. So he's got to cover this up front. And so I just want to get his thoughts on, you're a fan, right? You're from Iowa. And I mean, it would be like Reed Shepherd doing what he's done for 4 years.
Right.
Trying to explain to people that that's what this is. She is from the same neighborhood, the same part of Des Moines as the wife, West Des Moines. And when she gets announced, she makes sure to say West Des Moines. It's not just Des Moines, it's West Des Moines. It's a separate thing. It would be like me representing Fern Creek, right? Like, I'm a Louisville guy, but I'm from Fern Creek. And so it's just different, man. It's just different. And you just see people with Caitlin stuff on. Look, man, I've been to barbershop back home. What's going on with that Caitlin Clark? And like, so it's a thing. So I don't know if she'll win the championship this year, because it's tough. South Carolina's going to be tough again. LSU is in their region. It's going to be tough, but it'll be one of those things. It's going to be hard to encapsulate what she has meant to the sport.
Absolutely. Got a Go Big Blue from Andrea Massey, and that is friend of the show. We had George Massey on, who's played at UK from Cumberland High School, year ahead of me. This is George's mom, and if you remember too, you were at my dad's memorial service. George's dad is who got up there and spoke with my dad's buddy Tom. George told a story about them jumping through the snakes when my dad's car needed some antifreeze. So this is George's wife and Big George's wife and George's mother. So appreciate you, Andrea, hopping on here and saying hey. So I had to leave that one up there. A lot of people appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. Appreciate everybody checking us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're watching. But I just had to get both of those Iowa questions in there when I saw that. And look, when NIL, I'm glad. It should have been long overdue. I kind of bristle at everybody. Oh, it's the Wild Wild West. We need to wrangle it. Well, it's been wrangled to death for years. So if it gets a little bit wrangled to the other extreme right now with these guys getting paid, I don't have a problem with it. But this dude, but there's no rules, but he went to Iowa, got a bag, transferred back to Alabama, and he just a little back and forth game. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe you playing the system a little too much.
Yeah, but we've seen coaches do it. Washington's athletic director was there all of 6 months, and now he's going to be athletic director at Nebraska. So, look, I understand what Nick Saban was trying to say, what other people are trying to say. I get what they're trying to say, but ain't nobody hearing it from you. $100 million you got from coaching, like, we're not hearing it.
No,
like the NCAA had 80 years to get this right. kicking the can down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So the pendulum is going to swing. Remember, the writing was on the wall a few years ago with this NIL when it was in front of the Supreme Court. And I remember following along to some people like, hey, this is not going in the NCAA's way. Compensation, right? How can all these other people know it and the NCAA not be prepared? Because you remember when the ruling came down, the NCAA was like, all righty. Remember that? There was that date, like June something, like, and then things just went crazy. Now the NCAA is trying to, no, that is not how it works. You cannot just and then try to pull it in. You don't give your kid a marker in your living room with brand new furniture, let them go crazy for half an hour, and then come in. That's not how it works at all. So we knew that the system was broken 30 years ago.
Yes.
We knew it. So it just doesn't fit. And I keep saying the people that love it the way it used to be, kids used to play for the name on the front of the jersey. Okay, maybe. For a lot of kids, it's been transactional. Fans don't want to admit it, but for a lot of these people, it's just transactional.
Nick Saban himself, let's see, when he was at LSU. No, when he was at Miami, when he was at the Dolphins. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. He was on record saying that, and then next thing you know, here he is as the Alabama coach. So he's as transactional as anybody.
And look, man, I get it. Sports are dumb, okay? But I participate in it. But it's like, I see all these 49ers fans because the 49ers players are off. Somebody was in Cabo. Purdy got married. I can't believe, you lost Super Bowl. You're like, what do you want these people to do? For all the things your man, James Harden, did, him partying the day after losing that night, that doesn't bother me. What is it you want these people to do?
To quote Cal, they're not machines, they're not robots. They just letting off steam after work like you do. They just in a public job and make more money than you, but they're human too.
But what are they supposed to sit here? You're supposed to cry all off season? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Postpone your wedding. Postpone that wedding, Brock. How dare you marry that girl?
Man, he got married here in Des Moines.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got married. We drove by the church the other day. Because Kate was like, you know where this church is? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, it's here in town. I'm like, I don't know that much about this place. She's like, no. I said, okay. And we drove by. I was like, oh, okay. But what do you want people to do, man? A lot of this stuff is purely transactional. I got into it with some Kentucky fans. Not got into it, but the question they were debating was, okay, Cal moves on, right? Another coach comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Cal's guys would be attached to him or attached to the school? And I'm like, what's the difference between a Cal guy and a Joby Hall guy? Are we under the impression that players just go to schools because they like the school? I mean, that's part of it, but part of it is the coach.
I mean, there's no denying we've had Cam on how many times, and it doesn't matter that Pitino went to Louisville and all that. They still ride for Rick Pitino. They, those, Tony Delk, Cameron Mills, all those guys. They Coach P that was their coach.
I went to Derek Anderson had one of those events when he was doing the Victory Water. I was able to go to one of those, and people were trying to ask questions, putting Pitino in a negative light. And I'm like, those dudes aren't going there because that's their coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to happen, right? Like
Uh-uh.
we as fans are tied to the university. Like how many coaches have coached in Kentucky since you've been a fan? What Hall, Sutton,
Mm-hmm.
Tubby,
Tubby,
Billy G,
Billy, Cal. Mm-hmm.
and you just like I forget what comedian said it. You're just rooting for laundry,
Yeah,
right?
Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, just rooting for
Yeah.
clothes.
So I think at that level, yes, there are some kids like Reed Shepherd, like I really want to play for Kentucky. Okay, most of these guys initially it is transactional.
Rex Chapman was this close to going to Louisville. Jack Givens was this close going to Tennessee or Louisville. He's like, it was wherever I could afford the bus ride to for my visit. And that was Knoxville and that was Louisville. And I lived in Lexington.
Right. And so that's the thing I don't think people really understand about athletes at the college level. It's still transactional. Yes, it's how you feel, but it's the coaching staff, right? I can't remember where we were talking with your man Tony Delk talking about was it Billy Donovan, like after his freshman year, that really worked to keep him in Lexington?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of stuff. Yes, the school is great, and we've got all the banners, and we got all this, but Anthony Davis did not like John Calipari. He was not coming to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, before Cal got signed, that 09 recruiting class, who? And then Cal, all those dudes going to Memphis. Cal came to Kentucky. What happened? So that's not new. I don't know where this belief is that, and I don't fault the athletes for this. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
They tied to this like we are.
And they're on the other side where the fans want to be, and it's different once you're on that side.
When you have a skill set that's in high demand, you're going to go. Look, I was not a high-level athlete, Vinny. I was very good academically. I was born and raised a Cardinal fan. Everybody in my family going to U of L. My mom got her doctorate at U of L. Like, she's doing summer camp. I did my summer camps at U of L. When the time came, I said, these are my grades. These are my qualifications. I've been very clear about this, right? Louisville said, we'll give you okay. Kentucky said, we'll give you X plus Y and some Z.
Mm-hmm.
I said, done deal. Done deal. And from growing up, whatever, my mom will tell you, I was bleeding red until 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not go to U of L? But when Kentucky's like, hey, we got something for you. For me, purely transactional.
Yeah.
Now, I've made that switch to become a fan. Because, I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That 96 basketball team really helped with that decision, to be honest with you.
Influential.
But if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. But for me, purely transactional. It's like, we can give you a summer X. Okay. You used to, like, hey, again, I'm not a high-level athlete. Nobody's out here. There's no bidding war. It's just, here's what you got. Well, okay. Kentucky's coming off that. Time to go to Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
Me going to a rival school. Transactional, man. Like, I don't know what the expectation is for these guys. We put so much on these players. I remember it was one of those games. Alex Poythress. It was the one year, and I can't remember what year because I'm getting old, where we played a couple of games and then went to the Champions Classic. And so it was one of those, maybe it had been an exhibition game. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. But it was the same day as a football game, so it wasn't a lot of media there. And Poythress is talking, and somebody asked him, because we were playing Duke that year, what he thought about Christian Laettner. one, that was like 20 years ago at that point.
Yeah.
But two, these guys ain't steeped. Like they're not coming in with the battle scars we are as fans, man.
Mm-hmm.
If we end up playing Marquette, you really think Rob Dillingham's going to be thinking about how Dwayne Wade did?
Yeah, that's right.
Outside of Reese Shepard, none of these kids, like, it's not going to register like that.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't.
And
that's not a knock on anybody. That's just how it is.
And you talk about battle scars of fans because it's just the constant clashing with the other fan base 24/7, 365. Auburn, Alabama fans year round, Kentucky fans, Louisville fans year round. It's constant. Much to the fans' dismay, the players from Kentucky and Louisville a lot of times are cool. You know, Rex Chapman talking about hanging out at, I can't remember the mall in Louisville, but me and Kenny Payne and Griff and whatever was hanging out at the mall. And I got tired of waiting because KP and all them was signing autographs, but Rex over there hanging out with them, just kicking it. Sure, they play and it's rivalry and all this, that, and the other. But, Trent Noah last week, I see all the guys at Harlan. We go to the same Walmart and all that. And it starts at the high school level. Everybody in the county hates Harlan from a fandom standpoint. It's the Green Dragons that I told Coach Cal when he was on with us, I said, it's so weird for me to see you coaching them because Harlan was the rival. We just had some Cowboys who they haven't signed anybody in free agency. Some dudes from Dallas' defense went with Dan Quinn to the Commanders. Their defensive coordinator got hired by the Commanders. They had success as a defensive player under him as a defensive coordinator. They went to Washington too. They ain't sweating Dallas Washington thing like I
am. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so there were at the professional level, it really makes even less sense unless you have with free agency and player movement and guys kind of hanging out. It was different. Lakers, Celtics,
right.
Sixers in the 80s, or even Cowboys in Washington in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you went to a team, you were there 5-6 years, your entire career.
Yeah,
that's different. There's too much movement to get it like that again.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you look at the NBA. What teams hate each other? Right.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be part of the fun. Like those teams just don't get along. Whether it was Houston and Utah, like they kept meeting in the playoffs, right? Like, or whatever it is, it's not going to go like that anymore.
Giants, Dodgers, Knicks and Pacers, Yankees, Red Sox, all that,
it kind of goes away a little bit. It even, Niners, Cowboys. I mean, it's not like what it used to be because the Niners keep winning, but the important thing to keep
just slide it in there. Slide that razor blade in there.
But it's not what it used to be, right? It's not. It's not it, right?
It probably killed you seeing Charles Haley and Dion come to Dallas, just like it killed me seeing Ken Norton go to San Francisco. I was like, oh my God, it's like you just won 2 with us. Why are you going over there?
Yeah, when Dion left, because
that's a good one too.
I was like, oh, we got Dion.
That's a good one. Yeah, Bad Boys versus 23.
Look, this is what I wish for Isaiah Thomas. Thank you for that topic, David. Isaiah Thomas just needs to chill, man. You are not going to get whatever closure you're looking for from Michael Jordan. You're not going to get it. He's not going to give it to you. That being said, the Jordan mythos has been unkind to a lot of people. Mostly Detroit. That's why I was glad they got their ESPN 30 for 30. Detroit was that other team, right? Like Lakers and Celtics, and you had Doc and the Sixers, and the Pistons were that other team. Jordan gets to Chicago, and He's the heir apparent, no pun intended. But you got pesky Detroit. And you look around, and Isaiah and Detroit, they finally vanquished the Celtics. I think they might have beat the Sixers too in the playoffs. And then they finally in 90 get the Lakers, right? Like, as a Lakers fan, I'll be like, Byron Scott was hurt. Magic pulled a hammy in game 1. Like, but they won, right? They won. Probably should have won in 88. Fault calls in game 7 in 88 or in 89. You look at just the way Isaiah was great. 6'1", the best player, 6'1" in NBA history. The best.
Yeah.
Should have been on Team 1. And was not, because MJ said no, and Magic didn't stick up for him. That has to sting. We have let MJ's dislike of the Pistons and Isaiah Thomas color our recollection of that team. And they were very good at basketball. All the bad boys and all that kind of stuff. You see no highlights of Larry Bird fighting? Jay throwing fists?
Yeah.
Seen that before? But it was different because the Pistons were beating up Michael Jordan. So all I can say to Isaiah is, Zeke, you got to let it go, man.
And I watched the clip, but what's he wanting public apology for?
He wants Jordan to have a mea culpa, and Jordan ain't doing that, man.
About
wrong?
About what?
I guess about keeping him off the dream team and what. Look, also,
and they froze Jordan out the All-Star game before all the dream team stuff, right? Wasn't that allegedly or whatever? That
was part of it. I think also because Zeke, up until that point, Zeke from Chicago.
Yeah, so don't act like
a whole movie about his mom and what she was about, and she was about it. But it's got to hurt Zeke because Zeke's in Detroit. He's Chicago. He's supposed to be the little kid's supposed to be walking around with Isaiah stuff on. There's this dude that obviously he captivates the world, but he captivates your hometown,
your city. Yeah.
Like, so all I can say to Zeke is, you gotta let it go, man. Like,
and
whatever
don't act like
don't
act like it's so one-sided. Like, yeah, he just it was all him. Like, you culpable too, man. So,
that image of the Pistons before the game was over, they fouled out past the Bulls. Didn't do them any favors. The Celtics did that to them.
Yes.
Nah, man, you can't do that to Jordan. Like, that just becomes part of the Jordan lore. Like, we think and we hear, the Pistons just beat them up. No, they outplayed them, boys. The Pistons, like, we can color all we want to. The Pistons were better.
Yeah.
The Bulls to that point, they were just better. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say Jordan got beat. But he did.
He had to go to the weight room. They had to fire Doug Collins, and they just had to keep coming. And for a while there, they was coming with all they had, and it wasn't enough.
So Isaiah needs to let it go. I don't know if you saw that Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen and Luke Longley are in Australia for some reason, touring around talking about the last dance. Y'all gotta let it go, man. Like,
they all just gonna be on Club Shay Shay next. All them Bulls teams.
I just look, I get it. These guys are prideful, but at some point you gotta just. It is what it is. Like, I think Kareem, for all those greats, Kareem's at a great place. Like, records made to be broken. Like, you just gotta, whatever was. We talk talking 30 years down the road at this point.
Mm-hmm. Like it's
More than that. Like you got to let that go, man. Like like Scottie Pippen, hey. Pippen's in that weird space of is he underrated or overrated? You talk to, because Bomani Jones, some of those people like basically think that Pippen was not very good. Mike didn't win without him. So he did do some things. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like Michael Jordan was playing with a bunch of stiffs. This isn't Danny Manning and the Miracles to those 6 championships, right? Mike was Mike, but he needed some help. I mean, I think that, and again, that's fair to say. But it's one of those things. We all have egos. You can downplay it or not, but it's like I watched a clip of Joey Fatone from NSYNC.
Okay.
Talking about how Justin Timberlake went solo. And he had a very measured response. He's like, we knew what he was about early on. Like, he was in the group, but he wanted to do his own thing. Which was fine with him. The thing was how he did it. Like, they took a break. They were going to come back. During the break, Timberlake got with Timbaland and made his first solo album. It's like, I thought caught him off guard, right? Look.
He pulled an Eric Wolford and just ghosted him.
Look, I get it. Nobody wants to be the Pips. Nobody wants to be Harold Melvin. Nobody wants to be the Blue Notes. Everybody wants to be cool. Nobody wants to be the gang.
Yep.
You reach this high level and you just end up being in somebody else's shadow. So I can understand it. I do understand where Pippen's coming from, where all those Bulls players are coming from. But get a therapist and figure that out, man.
So
you're not going to get anybody. You're not going to get anybody to see your point of view.
And he never won Defensive Player of the Year. Pippen. Hall of Fame, 7-time All-Star, 94, 95 Steals champ, 10-time All-Defensive Team. Well, I thought he won a couple, but no.
No. Well, I think at that point it was most defense was like a big man that won a lot of those. It was only kind of lately. Yeah, it was only kind of lately that it's moved toward other guys. But look, you got to let it go, man. Like that's just part of it. You've got to. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah.
Everybody here to see Michael. Ain't nobody here to see you, Tito.
Yeah. That's right.
Like Marlon, like just the 5. Like I know it's easier said than done. I don't know if I could do it.
Right.
People like, you shouldn't be able to argue, who's Batman, who's Robin. Like I got the Kobe Shaq beef. You can only have one dude, and neither one of them wanted to give that up. They probably win at least one more championship, maybe 2.
And I think people start off fine with all that kind of stuff. We from Kentucky. Loretta Lynn is from Kentucky. Coal Miner's Daughter, great movie. One I've actually seen. Her husband was second fiddle, of course, and then he even got tired of it. He got sick of being in Loretti's shadow, and then next thing you know, then it's friction and all this kind of stuff. So it's, I guess, human nature, for fair or not, right or wrong, it creeps in.
Even and that's part of what my marital advice.
Talking about Isaiah now.
Well, look, Isaiah has done himself no favors.
They did. In 88 and 89, that's what happened. They dominated him.
But I think that overshadowed a little bit of. They were a good basketball team as well. I thought with that. But look, sometimes you got to be the pips. What did I tell you and Cameron? Sometimes you got to, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you do have to step back, but it's hard. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yo, absolutely.
But yeah, Isaiah got to let that go. You are not getting that. Pip, you got to let that go, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You got
that's
to let it go.
you just
You say your
wasting
piece
energy.
when the Last Dance came out. Now, 4 years later, you got to let that go, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's as simple as I can put it. You gotta let that go.
Yo, no doubt. No doubt. So, what noteworthy stuff you want to talk about in your bracket before we
As we
go?
look at the bracket, so my final four teams. Let me go to my sheet here. I've got out of the East. I've got UConn coming out of the East. Of the West, I have Baylor. Of the South, I have your team in mind, Kentucky Wildcats. And out of the Midwest, Texas. I'm going with Texas. I got Texas, Kentucky, Connecticut, and Baylor with the Cats over UConn in the championship game. Because I got us beating Wisconsin along the way. We need another revenge tour because I'm tired of losing to blankety blank UConn.
Let's see.
Ever since John Wall did them in, we've been coming up short against UConn, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. What I have, I got weirdness. And when I do this, I hope I'm wrong. Even if I don't put them in the bracket, I got UConn, Baylor, Houston, and Creighton, which is just don't even feel right to say, but that's what I got. And Baylor beating Houston in the championship. So, of course, I hope I'm wrong for sure.
The Midwest, there's always that one bracket where you're like, I don't believe any of these top four seeds.
Yeah,
that to me is the Midwest. Purdue, don't. Tennessee, cold day in hell before I root for Tennessee. Cold day in hell. Who's a 3 seed down there?
Let's see. And I respect your hatred for them.
Creighton is the 3.
Yeah.
And Kansas is the 4. I don't believe in Kansas.
Nope.
That's my teams. Surprises. I'll be interested to see if Drake and Iowa State in the second round.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good matchup. I got Drake winning that, going to the Sweet 16. Because this house we are against the Cyclones.
Yes.
I got Alabama going far. I don't know. I got them kind of Sweet 16, Elite 8. I don't know about that, but look, for everything, people looking for consistency from Kentucky. I am as well. But every team has crapped the bed this season.
Yeah.
And looked beatable. I mean, yeah, UConn, they look to be head and shoulders, but you got to play those games.
And like you said, technically, maybe on paper they look to be the most complete, but going back to back is hard, and they could slip up. They could slip up just as easy as anybody else. Creighton beat them down by 20 a few weeks ago, and nobody's just immune to anything. It's just you said you don't like the product. The product not as good as it has been, and guys don't play together as long as they used to a few years ago, and everybody's susceptible. You get some good dudes now going to these mid majors and the transfer portal, and the gap is closed. Yeah, so it's all these factors, make it to where it's gonna be wild these next couple of days. So
But I'm going for the Cats. He's gonna give us something.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ain't no doubt. And the dismissiveness,
One of those moments.
going just a condescending smirk he gonna give somebody after an and one is just, that's as great as PJ's meme mug.
Yeah.
The Dilly.
I love the dismissive Dilly.
Yes, absolutely.
Really,
like why would I even bother with you? Why am I even bother with you?
6 foot or 7 foot, he gonna get you, and he gonna tell you you're too small. I like that, man. Dilly's one of my favorites in a long time, just because I'm like, and he's not as wild as I was anticipating before the season. They're like, you got to take the good and take the bad. I mean, a couple of shots here and there, a couple of turnovers, but it's not like.
Yeah. We just thought this loose cannon that just couldn't be coached and just was going to throw up a monkey wrench in all the chemistry. It's not been that at all.
But I need Reeves and Reed and Dilly. Hey, y'all got to get at least 30 minutes a game from here on out. That's the only way this gets done.
And the too small is part of the game. The too small has become like the Euro step. It's just everybody does it. To me, the commentators don't have to say every time. Well, and then he tells them he's too small afterward, or he's indicating that no one is big enough to guard him. I think that's what Carl Ravage said after he did it in the tournament.
Carl Ravage is
you don't
great
even have to.
basketball.
You don't even have to say it. It's just part of it. Now, it's not a basketball play. You don't have to say, oh, he does the too small after he scored. If a Euro step, Terry Euro steps Jacoby and finger rolls over Vinny, that's part of the play. That's what you actually did. A Euro step, you got to say it if you're painting a picture. You ain't got to mention too small every time. We watching. We can see. The commentators, leave it alone, commentator, or let Gus Johnson do it. But you ain't got to talk archaically about it. Like you ain't got to Ward Cleaver every too small. Oh, and then he gives them the too small after the basket. No, just don't even. That's just my little soapbox. I don't do many, but commentators don't tell us about every single too small every time it happens. That's my soapbox.
I understand. We're gonna watch a little bit of this. Yeah, man. Well, Carl Ravage is great at a lot of things. College basketball ain't one of them. Which is he's great, but he always seems out of his element. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But of course, working with Jimmy Dykes will put you that way.
That's true. On that note, man, and look, next time Alan Cutler come on asking about homework, we just gave some analysis on some commentators right then. So we have a little something for him next time.
That's right.
Been fun, man. Enjoy Caitlin Mania up there. Enjoy the tournament. Let your coworkers know in the office. Let them know. I know you will. Do the same thing down here. And tomorrow, this time, we'll be watching the first half will probably be about in the books this time tomorrow, and we'll see. We have this tournament started, baby. The journey will start. So
that's right.
Enjoyed it. Enjoyed everybody coming in. Enjoyed Coach Truck. Enjoyed Ozon. Enjoyed all the comments. Keep coming back. We'll be back next week on the BS3 Network. Appreciate everybody chiming in and following along. It'll be up on Spotify, be up on Roku. Appreciate y'all. And for Terry, this is Vinny. Another episode of Cash Talk Wednesday. Download that Autograph app and check us out on BS3 Network. We'll see y'all later.